All right, we are live on StreamYard. We are also live on Instagram. My camera line is a little different today than it normally is because we are training inside the Akashic Academy all week on using the Akashic records to find soul direction. And I'm literally jumping from one studio to another. So hello, everybody. Welcome to Akashic Answers with Emily. If you see me looking here, I'm looking at you, Instagram. If you see me looking over here, I'm looking at you, StreamYard. Please say hello to me once you get here. Let me know where you are tuning in from. I see Merkaba, and I'm trying to read these names that are Instagram handles. It's so challenging. I see Lehigh. I see I'm Annette or I'm gonna wave to you and say hi. Wave all to my Instagram people. Thank you. This actually, it reminds me of being a little girl in church doing the Bible drills where you have your Bible in the hand. They're like, all right, find 1 John 4:12. And you're flipping through and you're nervous. And I'm flipping through my Bible. I'm nervous. I'm trying to find out. All of my other friends are stepping forward. I'm just like, oh, no. Usually didn't find it. Pronouncing names on live on air too has always been one to get me. Welcome to Akashic Answers with Emily. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And as you begin to see the comments rolling in of where we're all stationed, because we are pillars of light stationed at different places across the planet where we are getting to turn on a communication between each other, share intelligence. This is a grid of consciousness flowing through the planet. I am coming to you today from the high Sierras, and thank you for liking my top. I'm gonna fix, I got a little wardrobe fix here. I tried to tape my top right into perfect place, but I didn't actually have wardrobe tape with me. I only had painter's tape, and then I had blue pieces hanging out. So anyway, behind the scenes, this is what it looks like. Ann Oikel in the house from Alberta, Canada. Sanex 78 coming to us from Germany, the United Kingdom. Simon coming in. Thank you all for being here. All right, well, let's get started. I'm already all up in the Akashic Records space. Like I shared with you, we are just finishing up a workshop over inside the Akashic Academy. So the records are open. Intelligence flowing through. Hi, Diana. For those of you who are new, the Akashic Records are the realm of consciousness where all information, past, present, all possible futures, has been stored from a neutral perspective, which means unconditional love and zero judgment. Deb Duran, I see you. Anna Mona, I see you. Happy to share this space with all of you powerful beings. And here's a cool secret. Every human on the planet has the ability to access this realm of infinite intelligence known as your Akashic Records. Why do you want to access this space? Well, if you are suffering in any way in your life, maybe physical, emotional, mental dis-ease, that can definitely cause us to suffer. If you are suffering from lack of inspiration, if you are suffering from depression, lack of vitality in your life, if you feel like there's something more, but you don't know what that is, tapping into your Akashic Records can instantly fill in the gaps of missing information. Looking for that next project that's going to inspire you, that's going to feel like you are leaving legacy behind on the planet, the Akashic Records hold that information. It's one of my favorite ways to work with my clients is helping them to extract extraordinary levels of genius from their Akashic Records. They escape ordinary mind, ordinary thought, and they tap into extraordinary thought. So healing ourselves, tapping into our creative genius. This is why you want to use the Akashic Records. And I want to show you all how it works today. I want to give you a little spin. Let's take a spin together in our records. So start firing up my comment box with your questions. If this is the first time you're tuning in, I will also introduce myself. I'm Emily Harrison, founder director here inside the Akashic Academy. And I love working with visionaries and thought leaders who understand the importance of escaping ordinary mind, escaping their ordinary, mundane, many times destructive thoughts, and tapping into thoughts that hold a frequency of potentiality, of love, of genius, because every single thing that we are creating comes from our thoughts. Any of you who have studied manifestation, if you've studied the 7 Hermetic principles, which are the cosmic principles for personal mastery, you know that mentalism, or that this universe, the idea that this universe is mental, is the creation point of everything. Starts with thought and then initiated through sound, whether you believe in the Big Bang or whether you believe God spoke the universe into existence. They both required sound. So when you begin to understand the constructs of the thoughts that I'm thinking, the words that I'm speaking, the vibrations, if you're ohming, the vibrations that you're making, this is how you interact with the dynamic matrix that creates our universe. Okay. Miss Diana says, what strategies do you use to clear the past and tap into past lives and bring gifts from the past forward? Great question. So this is how I do it. Secrets of the trade, Diana. I'm going to give you all the real goods today too. This is exactly how I teach it in my training course, Learning How to Read the Akashic Records, which is available for anybody who feels like you want to take on this mastery, this training of learning to read your own records. I encourage you to do so. Feel free to reach out to me and I'll send you the link of where you can find the Akashic Record training. But Diana has asked, what strategies do you use to clear the past and then bring the gifts from the past forward? First of all, I take visionaries and thought leaders, clients, students into their personal Akashic records. And we ask for connection to a past life through the imagination that either needs clearing or that we want to bring gifts forward from. And they can both happen in the same past life. You can have a past life where shit went down and you need to clear it, and there are gifts that you want to extract from that past life. Okay. I keep it super simple. We work with light. Everything is energy. Sound is a particular vibrational frequency of energy that stores and transfers knowledge. Light particles do the exact same thing. So it's as simple as traveling into a past life through your imagination. You get a visual, you get a feeling, you get a sense. I like to tap in and say, can you smell anything? Can you feel the moisture in the air? Do you notice what clothes you're wearing? And it's all just an improv game with the imagination, noticing what pops into your imagination first and going with that, letting the story unfold. Even if it doesn't feel like it makes sense, even if it feels like, is this real? Am I making this up? Yes, it's real. No, you're not making it up. You can't actually make anything up. Your brain only sends and receives signals. So that's how we locate ourselves in the past life. I'm going to call it a grid point, because a grid point or a timeline is just a way to locate ourselves in the infinite time-space continuum, because time is only linear to humans. It's not really linear. It's happening all at once, all at the same time. So going to a timeline or a story of a past life, that could also be said using the vocabulary, oh, we're finding grid points in the time-space continuum. And while we think of grid points as longitudinal this, latitudinal, is latitudinal a word? That? The way I use to find those grid points is through the senses, locating what we can detect about the essence of where we are. Okay? Then I call in light. Light is missing information. Anything that is unhealed is simply unwhole, or we are experiencing it from a limited perspective. When we can experience it from omnipotent perspective or God perspective, all of the gaps get filled in, all of the data gets filled in, and then a situation is whole. Let me say that again in a different way. One of the reasons that we think we got played dirty in the past life is because we don't understand the bigger picture of what was happening, what part we were playing, or the gift within the wound that our soul received for having that experience. So once we re-examine from this perspective of God mind, like, oh, it makes sense why that happened. And we reconcile it within ourselves. And when we reconcile our emotional charge, we move back into a state of neutrality, wholeness, and we are no longer feeling the pain or the trauma of whatever the situation was. Send some love, likes, hearts across the screen. Blow up my algorithm, please, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. And then when it comes to calling gifts forward from other points on the time-space continuum, that simply looks like acknowledgement. Asking, okay, what was my secret superpower or my not so secret superpower in this lifetime? And then note what you get back. Acknowledge, oh yeah, okay, I get it. I see that about myself. It's really quite simple. It's really about just a higher level of awareness, which is asking questions, nodding when you get them. Okay, I see that, accepting it. What you don't want to do is you don't want to begin to challenge or question or go into resistance. Oh, I was rich in that lifetime. Wish I could be rich in this lifetime. Obviously, that's not how. No, we can't go into resistance. If we go into resistance, we stop the energy from flowing. So really, it's witness and awareness creates a transmission where we can pick that energy instantly back up very easily. It's more about how do I not get in my own way, and how we not get in our own way is by not showing up for those thoughts of resistance, not interacting with them. Cool. Is this landing? Anna says very powerful. Thank you. I like the feedback. Good questions here. All right, let me see if oh, you guys have good questions rolling in. All right, I'm going to do the activations quickly so we can get to as many of these as possible. Yeah, you guys got me excited. Good questions. Love it. Past life. Hands together. Create a little bit of pressure between the left and right palm. This will ignite balance between your left and right hemispheres of your brain. Thumbs engaging with the heart space. Deep breath in. Exhale. I want you to land at the end of an exhale in one of your past lives. Trust that the image that comes into your mind is here to help you understand and learn something about yourself. Get a sense for any information you can collect from this timeline. Just noticing temperature, feeling, moisture levels in the air, maybe sounds around you. Feel your feet connected to the ground in this timeline. And call light to yourself. Massive amounts of light, becoming a beacon of light, adding light to this timeline, this situation. It's this kind of work, by the way, that I feel triggers the Mandela effect or different collective memories, because we are in essence changing the past right now. You're healing the past. Good job. All right, we don't have the time today to go further into extracting the gifts. We always have time. Just extract them. Intend that you are receiving them. I'm not going to spend a lot more time talking us through this process. I feel like you can get what you need to get in this past life just by receiving the gift. But let's move on. That was some awesome work. Thank you, Diana. Okay, great question by Lisa here. Are all our higher selves benevolent? If so, I'm wondering why we would enter into contracts that are not for our highest good. Okay, that's a deep question. I'm loving it here. Let me just tap in and see what the guides have to say. Okay, so the guides are saying when we talk about our higher self, a higher self is a version or aspect of us that vibrates to the frequency of unconditional love and zero judgment. So I would say, yes, all of our higher selves are benevolent. It's our lower self or our human self that can be the asshole, or that can be still showing up from the trauma or the wound or the shadow. And when we're still showing up from the trauma, the wound, or the shadow, that's when we are, in essence, not in our most benevolent selves or our most peaceful selves, I will say. Do I think it's not for our highest good? I feel like everything has the opportunity to be part of our highest good, depending on how we're framing the situation. No, it may not be in my highest good to continue to be in relationships like narcissistic or manipulative relationships. And what it is allowing me to do, if I choose to see my own patterns and get curious as to why do I continue to allow this for myself? We talked about the epidemic of self-hatred in the workshop just a few minutes ago. But understanding and learning why we allow ourselves to participate in experiences where we're being taken advantage of or we play the victim, that allows us to learn and step out of those patterns. So see, there's an argument, well, that is for your highest good because you're learning and growing through that experience. And regarding our lower selves, the parts of us that are learning through being wounded or through being challenged, I really embrace all those aspects of myself because those are my great teachers along the way, right? Those are the areas where I get to understand where to give myself more grace, where to give myself more love. My lower selves are actually just as important in my teaching and learning process than my higher selves. All right, send me some love, likes, hearts across the screen if that is making sense and dropping. Lisa, let me know how that is landing for you. All right, let me see. And let me also see what activation the guides want to do. James Davis, your heart question is really cool. We're gonna look at that one next. All right, so let me tap in here and see what intelligence, what activation the guides want to bring through regarding our higher, our lower selves. And entering into, all right, the guides want to work with the energy of freedom and sovereignty in each one of us. And they are going to work in the, let's see, root chakra. Root chakra is at the base of your spine. This governs safety and security, how you feel safe and secure on the planet financially, emotionally, physically. So placing one hand lower in the lower gut here, root chakra, and then one hand on the solar plexus. This is personal power. And just nice deep breaths. One more nice deep breath. And ask your guides to give you a sense of why this is working. So root chakra, again, safety and security. Solar plexus is personal power. And I want you to ask and notice what flows into your mind. Get curious about why this activation It's helping you integrate your higher and lower self. How it is helping you increase your levels of sovereignty. That's your own personal freedom. Cool. Good work. Notice what your guides are saying to you. All right, send some love, likes, hearts across the screen if you are getting some good stuff out of this experience that we get to share here today. All right, James Davis says, does the heart have to be fully open to get creative? Does the heart have to be fully open to get creative? Well, it's true that the more open your heart is, the more creativity will flow into your field, James. But does the heart have to be open? What the guides are showing me is that there are aspects of your life where your heart can close down more and it can open up more. So depending on where we're facing in our life, right? The heart can open or close or open or close. Let's say you're facing towards relationships and you've just had a relationship break down on you. The heart's going to close up a little bit here until it feels good and safe again. And let's say that you are facing money or the challenge. It's not a challenge for everybody. Let's say that abundance is not a challenge for you. Prosperity is not a challenge for you. As your heart energy faces that, it's like you open up and you have this big open wave and exchange of energy with your ability to source and resource in your life. Okay, so the more open the heart is, the more creative it can be. But does it have to be fully open to be creative? No. But they're definitely directly related. So if you want to have more creativity in your life, and creativity, by the way, can just look like having different thoughts. Yes, if you want a drastic change in your finances, you may need to make drastic changes in your behavior. Get a different job, create your own job, stop participating in energy leaking activities. All right, the guys want to move into an activation here around the heart space. Let's see. Let's continue with the laying hands on our body. All right, so laying a hand over the heart, using your second hand as an energy receptor, allowing energy from the great central sun to flow down into your open hand, flowing through the body into your heart space. Take nice deep breaths. Ooh, I can feel something powerful activating. The clairsentience is going off like crazy in my body. Activating your heart, opening, getting creative. So what I was saying a few beats ago is, yes, to change your finances, you may need to make different decisions on how you show up, but the start of changing your finances comes in how you're thinking about your finances. And so getting more creative means allowing yourself to have different thoughts that lead to different circumstances, different opportunities. And so opening up your heart so that you can have different thoughts. Did you know your heart has neurons? Your heart has a mind. We can think with our heart mind. How many of you have the discernment to recognize the difference between head thoughts and heart thoughts? Give me a yes in the comments if you have noticed that difference in your own life before, the difference between head thoughts and heart thoughts. I always go with my heart thoughts. All right, awesome. All right, so let's grab another question. Oh, Diana says, I saw now explains why I have flying dreams. Great. I'm glad things that are landing in here. Teresa Warren in the house. Teresa was my very first student ever, by the way, and has had massive success in stepping into her mission and changing the planet since we first worked together in 2015. I love you, T-Dubs. It's good to see you here. All right, let's see. We have 4 more minutes. That's a ton of time. Hi, Allie. I'm glad that you're here. Oh, wild synchronicity happening that there's not enough space to explain here. Good. Yes, 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 yes. Awesome, awesome. Deb Duran, also one of my students and clients and dear friends and colleagues here inside the Akashic Academy. Very wise lady. She says, plus the purpose for things happening is for you to learn or clear karma. Also, gifts from the past are with you when you are born. You just need to allow yourself to believe in it. Believe the things you have been experiencing all your life as the superpower that it is. Yes, it's so much perspective shift around staying in a frequency of awe. And because, I mean, this planet is freaking amazing. And it's so easy to go into desensitization around the beauty that we get to experience, around the just incredible miracle that it is to be here. So staying in that frequency of awe is really helpful too. Georgie says, they being omniscient, still wondering the same thing, but you being among the most advanced aspects of your inner self, advise them how to guide you in any incarnation. Ideally, you advise them so you can remember all of that here and realize that you can start giving them precise guidance and requirements and updates in real time. Georgie, I think that is in response to are all versions of our higher self benevolent, and what that communication process looks like. Sounds like Georgie is describing the idea of an oversoul and how the oversoul higher self version of us is connected to and feeding information and intelligence to all of these different aspects of where we're showing up in the time-space continuum and incarnating. Because we talked a little about past lives. Past lives helps humans understand that we're not talking about the particular incarnation where the majority of our awareness is focused. The majority of your awareness is focused right now in this timeline in 2023 here on planet Earth. However, there are multiple timelines happening throughout all dimensions right now. Time is happening forward, backwards, all at once, all at the same time. It's not happening in this linear line. So when we say past life, from the human experience, it is past, meaning we're not, the majority of our consciousness is not focused in that timeline right now. And it can be helpful to understand that concept because it'll bend your mind a little bit when you begin to think about, oh, everything is happening all at once, all at the same time. But for those of you who like a little mind bending, there you have it. All right. I love you all so much. I love Wednesdays. I love the joy that I get. Please share with me what landed for you. What are some of the major takeaways that you are exiting this sacred classroom with here today? And if this has served you, I invite you and humbly request that you share this out. The more of us that come together in this kind of sacred study to advance ourselves, to see our own patterns, to take responsibility, to take our freedom back. Man, sovereignty is a big deal. And we're giving away so much of our power by blaming what we're experiencing on people around us. We blame our friends, we blame our family, we blame the government. The truth is, once we see our own patterns and how we're participating in it, we have the ultimate creatorship to change anything that is not providing the experience that we want to have here on this amazing, beautiful planet. So thank you all for being with me. If you are interested in studying the Akashic Records, I want you to type Akashic Records in the chat box, and I will have my team circle back to you and share with you more information on what it looks like to learn how to read your own records. Thank you all so much for being here, and I'm going to see you back here again next week.